Hi, I'm at the Parramatta Future Campus today for University of New England, and I'm going to be interviewing Terry Dalton, who is ex-New South Wales Police, and when he retired back in 2012 he was a detective superintendent, specifically in charge of the 150 anniversary policing project. Welcome, Terry. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Xanthe.
Now, can you tell me a little bit about your experience during your many years of policing with transnational and organised crime?
I think what you've got to remember, for me, I started policing in 1972, and that was in Tasmania, and then I went to the Royal Hong Kong Police, and then New South Wales. And going back to the early days, we were more parochial. We didn't have an involvement, if you like, in transnational crime, organised crime to a certain degree, but we were sort of restricted by borders. What I've seen evolve over the years in my time, particularly in 31 years in the New South Wales Police Force, and what I've learnt, there are no borders. And particularly in the modern age, with transportation, the use of computers, that organised criminals can operate outside Australia, particularly in cybercrime, and those within Australia can go from state to state. And we've got a very good example of that recently with the bikie groups and the way they're operating and how they're trying to push them from state to state. And really the police have become a lot better at cooperating and working together to try and do something about organised crime. Transnational crime issues are another case, and by way of example, when I was the commander of the New South Wales Marine Area Command and responsible for all water policing from the Queensland to the Victorian border and 200 nautical miles to sea, which is a huge area, we got involved in, if you like, transnational crime. And by way of example, back in 2003, I believe it was, there was a North Korean freighter, the Pong-Su, which was involved in drug distribution around the world. It was part of the North Korean government at the time, although that was never confirmed, and it had been tracked to Australia with a huge consignment of heroin. It hit Victoria, where the drugs were landed on the beach. They were intercepted by an AFP operation with the Victoria Police, and then the vessel was chased out to sea. And then there was a requirement for this vessel to be intercepted, and there wasn't a response available from the federal government, so they called on the state government. So the state government gets involved in, if you like, from my perspective, transnational crime, because you've got this Korean freighter involved in major drug trafficking around the world, if you like, and the belief was it was raising money back for the government back home. And the use of a state police force and its assets to track down a vessel in hot pursuit and to assist in the final interception of that vessel by the Australian government, leading to the arrest of the people on board, was to me a great example of how transnational crime has affected Australia, particularly for a state police force, and how you have to be adaptable and have an ability to be able to think outside the square, not just within the borders of New South Wales.